Hello everybody and welcome to the latest round of the OGRL Coffee Cup here from Mosport. It's round 16 as we're just a few rounds away now from the Christmas break, which will come after the seeding round in December 22nd. It is round 16 tonight though, another hour ahead of us here in this series as round 16 gets underway with myself, Ewan, James Parfitt along with you. Good to be back again for another hour of racing here this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, of course. I think this is a really interesting circuit to go to. I always think it's a bit underused, to be honest, but it's a really exciting one, really flowing, really difficult, lots of elevation change, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the race is going to go here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think this is a great circuit, right? And I love turn one. I think turn one's awesome, but I also love turn two. And the reason I love turn two is because you go up into turn two and then you drop the other side of it and you've got the low particularly left-hander. Now the problem with that is it's not on the outside, the cars on the inside will wash out and they'll end up going on the grass. And it ends up a little bit of a mess. So I'm hoping it doesn't end up to be a bit of a mess, but I also think that we could see great racing here as well.
And the thing to note about that turn, of course, as well, it's actually different to iRacing to what it is in real life these days. And they've got a bit of tarmac on the outside there now. In iRacing, we've still got the challenge of the grass running right round the outside of the corner, which is all the more exciting. And indeed, was that turn four?
It's coming into turn four.
Getting mixed up already between the two of them, that's good. Let's have a look at the championship standings before we go any further here, because they are still very close indeed. In all three classes, with still quite a few rounds to go, another 6 to come after the Christmas break, of course, in this series. In the pros, Bradley Lovings is now leading the way ahead of Joshua Herring by 5 points. And then there's a bit of a bigger gap back to Cole Modric, who's not that far ahead of Jeremy Tierney and Ryan Merriam, rounding out the top 5. Alan Purser is just outside the top 5. David Benroy, Michael Dion, Sean Riley and Philip de la Cruz round out the top 10. In the pro standings. In Pro-Am, Bradley Tidwell is leading the way by quite a lot of points now, 37 points over Richard Modric, but it's worth remembering that Quentin Price, who's in third place, has missed a round in this part of the season, and so that drop week will eventually be written off and he will get a lot closer to Bradley Tidwell, although he wouldn't overtake him. He's still 79 points behind. Barry Acker is fourth ahead of Brian Dunkowski, rounding out the top 5, with Jonathan Williams in 6th place at Aperno Hanno. Then it's Michael Champlin and Dan Svorak rounding out the top 10 there. In the AMS, it is JT Sawyer who's still leading the way, but his gap significantly reduced after he lost 14 points last week, 2 weeks ago I should say, at the Hockenheim Ring. We had a week off for Thanksgiving, of course. That gap now just 6 points, or 8 points, I should say, between he and Joey Maines. Heath Ollinger is a little bit further back, although he is ahead of Gary Spencer now, who has missed a race this season, and so will gain some of those points back. He is currently 54 behind. He would probably be 18 behind if that was written off. Mike Elliott is in 5th place, ahead of Clyde Cump for 6th. Then it's Cody Bond, Jeff Silvervader, Nicholas Marshall and Curtis Matthews rounding out the top 10 there in the AM standings. Very close towards the back end of the top 10, as Jeff Silvervader in 8th is only 5 points ahead of Cameron Ridgely in 12th. And indeed 10 points ahead of Scott Carlson in 13th. So it's very close indeed in the AM standings towards the back end of the top 10. It does though feel like there's still a very long way to go in this championship. Still 9 more rounds, and I know they get a drop week at 1 out of every 6 rounds, but even so, these are remarkably close championships considering the amount of rounds we've had and the amount we've still got to go.
I think the thing is, what brings this championship alive is not only is the fact that we're doing practically a whole year, right? This is season 3, technically. We've still got 1 more to go after this. I think it's the fact that there's drop weeks in each season. So people have been in and they've been out and they've popped in and they've taken a drop week, and it's just closed everybody up. And I think at the end of the day, that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it exciting. And I think for us, it's great because we get to witness all of the ups and downs and changes all over the seasons, and everything can go wrong, and generally it does go wrong. But I think for now, this is really, really close, and I'm really, really interested to see how this all develops.
As I was saying as well, that there are a couple of those contenders really who will be right up towards top of the standings by the end of the season, who have missed rounds in this part of the season, so it looks a bit false at the moment. The pro standings do look as they should do, but Quentin Price will be a lot closer in Pro-Am. Gary Spencer will be a lot closer in Am, as long as, of course, as they don't miss another round in this 6-week block, because otherwise then they will be in a bit of trouble. But yeah, it does help to keep things very close indeed. We're into qualifying now. 15 minutes around here at Mosport. It's not actually going to take them very long to complete these laps because this circuit is remarkably short.
It is. They were going around in about 1 minute 15 in practice, and I expect this to be the same. But I think this is what makes it exciting. It's 10 corners, give or take, if that, really, generally, depending on how you number them up. And this is what's going to make this interesting. What even more is going to make it interesting as well is the 40 drivers that we're going to have around the circuit. That alone is going to be exciting because a lot of cars.
Yeah, it is. It's for this length of circuit, it certainly is. Even though it's not the biggest field we've had this season, it's still a pretty big field, and it's very good to see this deep into the season and this close to Christmas as well. Generally in December, people's ambition seems to be honest, and they get a bit disinterested in sim racing sometimes. But good that that's not happened here by any means. As I say, we're 3 weeks away from a Christmas break now. We won't be racing on December the 29th, even though that is a Sunday, or indeed January the 5th. We'll be having a 2-week break, as we have been doing between the sub-seasons anyway, but we're just doing that over Christmas this time around instead, even though this series doesn't actually fall on any of the notable dates. The end of the first lap is...
just hold on a minute. Right, Mr. O'Leary. We know you're not a lover of Christmas, but it doesn't mean we have to work every day over blinking Christmas. I know you're not a lover of Christmas, but it doesn't mean we have to work it. Come on, we need a break. We've been going for months. Anyway.
And guess what? We're going to go for months afterwards as well.
I know, we're going to go for months afterwards, but we need a break. We need to chill in there somewhere. God, you're workaholic, Mr. O'Leary. I've just been told JT has also joined 4X Racing. So I need to put him in 4X Racing as well for JT Sawyer. But, you know, look, I think it's all right having a break, right? Everybody else should agree with me if you're at home and you've seen how many broadcasts we do on a weekly basis. But it's just Mr. O'Leary feels like he likes working a lot. Don't you?
You know... we're doing another series on the 29th of December, so, you know, just saying. We'll keep that one quiet. Just for the moment. Just over 11 minutes to go in qualifying. None of the contenders who were up there in practice really have set times yet. Scott Kimbrough is currently the fastest driver out on the circuit, but we're yet to see Devin Hubberton set a time. We're yet to see Alfie Nichols even exit the pit lane, which is a bit odd. Ryan Merriam will probably be up there as well. He's not set a tie yet. Bradley Lovings hasn't left the pit lane either. Crikey, I've just seen his licence. He needs to get some safety rating. He'll be in trouble. Anyway, there's still time, and as we said, there is a very short lap round here for them to contend with. Fernando Cruz moves up to third place there with that lap time there in the McLaren. We're following JT Sawyer, who's the leader of the AM Championship, not the leader of this session in the AMS though. He goes to an 18.0. That's still a second slower than Heath Hollinger though.
They were swapping places in and out of practice, and they were doing really well, and between Heath and him it was getting very, very interesting. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting race in general. Scott Kimbrough out in top. Will Kofi is another one that's joined the race this week. And also Mr. Long has joined in as well this week. Where is he? Mark Long. There you go. Mark has also joined the racing this week as well. And Alfie's in YouTube chat has told us that JT joined him last week, apparently. So JT's been picked up as a free agent and thrusted into the limelight for a record-breaking £28 million that they paid JT to join the team.
I'm going to test your sporting knowledge now, by the way. Well, because we're looking at this Ford Mustang of Mark Long. Do you know the sports team that he is got a livery of at the moment? You can see the writing on the side.
Yeah, that's a baseball team.
Whoa, well done. Yes.
It's the baseball team, isn't it? Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, it is.
They are a baseball team, so there we go.
Good knowledge.
Thank you.
There we go. It's only good knowledge because we're British. I didn't expect you to get it, to be fair. So well done. As I say, it's only notable because we're British, and so not many people in this country know anything about baseball, not least the teams. So there we go. I'm very impressed. There we go. He's currently in 19th place. He improves slightly. Bumped down to 20th. Though, as David Van Roy sets his first time, he goes into 11th. Scott Kimbrough is still a long way clear of the field. 15.6 from him. Darren Hoverton is now out there, though, and he's going quicker. That's lap 2. He completes. He's done a 15.6 now as well. One more to go for Hoverton. Can he get that 10th of a second that he needs to get pole?
Well, we're going to find out as he goes round turn 2. This is the tricky part. You end up out on the grass. Well, forget about it. Whoever's on the inside of this corner is going to get torpedoed by you. So you want to be a little bit careful. But then again, it has seen people manage to get it braked and stopped at that point due to the fact, obviously, the grass deck's been added to iRacing as well. Alfie Nichols, Dustin Matinee and Bradley Lovins have not got times on the board. Brad, I expect, will be coming out shortly.
Sorry, Hoverton went wide.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was like something exciting going on in quali that I've missed. There we go.
It was quite exciting because I thought Hoverton would actually get pole here, but actually Scott Kimbrough is going to finish ahead of him here unless Hoverton can pull off some sort of miracle, which I don't think is going to happen. Here's Hayden Young over the line. And where's he going to go initially? 17th place for him. As you say, we are still waiting for plenty of drivers, and they can leave it late. But I'm personally quite pleased they're leaving it late because it means we can look at them properly a bit later. Like David Van Roy, who's just completed his second lap time, and he's up to 5th place now.
Right, I'm aware David Van Roy has got a new skin as well. Designed by our very own Mr. Kenny Bourgeois, I believe, has designed the skin for David Van Roy. So he's got a new livery. JPB logo sitting on the top there, looking proud, of course. So yeah, Mr. Kenny Bourgeois has racked up a livery for David Van Roy. It looks awesome. So if you want to reach out to Kenny, it's KB Designs, I think they are, on Facebook. Go and check them out. On that one, he does a great job. Josh Herron's out there, Brian Dukowski's out there as well. Hayden Young, our biggest Instagram supporter. He got very pleased the other day. I posted a clip the other day and he put underneath, "Hey mum, I'm on TV." So there you go. He was dead excited about being on an Instagram clip. Was Hayden Young.
We'll see if he can get himself on another one by taking pole or something here. No,
he can't. I think it was me and you actually. It was from last week. It was me and you from last week. So yeah. And he was well happy, but Ryan Merriam is not happy at this moment in time. He is all the way down in 37th with no time on the board. So Ryan Merriam not looking good. No,
not good at all for Merriam. Currently 5th place in the championship, by the way. Not that far behind Jeremy Cheney, who I haven't seen out there actually at the moment, but he might be here. Not entirely sure, just for the moment. Alfie Nichols on an outlap, so is Bradley Lovings. We'll check in with those guys a little bit later. What about Merriam? Has he at least got something to show for this? And yes, it's only 16th though for Ryan Merriam.
Ouch. 16th place. Bradley Lovings is going around turn 4. We've got Alfie Nichols is going into turn 2. So Alfie should be the first one to get a time on the board. Ready for the race. 5.5 minutes to go. I don't know why they leave it so late. It's solo quali, so it's not like anybody's in the way.
Well, no, but you can sort of see what the benchmark is and then go out. I'm personally quite pleased they're leaving it late because, as I say, it gives us a chance to actually look at them properly. But there you go. Joey Maines, by the way, hasn't got a time on the board. And this is his 3rd lap he's about to complete now in the AM class. He's 2nd place. Needs to get somewhere near JT Sawyer here, to be honest. Can he do it? Obviously going to be personal best because he hasn't got a time. What's it going to be? 33rd. That is only, it's only one behind JT Sawyer. So while it's not very close to the front of the AMs, he'll be okay with that because he is right behind Sawyer.
Yeah, Alfie has not got time on the board. I'm hoping that was his out lap.
Yeah, it was.
But And now we've got Brad who's doing his fast lap. So it's going to be very interesting. I think coming up here into turn 4 in the Moss, man, I think there's going to be carnage. There's 42 cars on the racetrack. I'm optimistic, Ewan, but there's 42 cars heading into Moss.
There's a couple more than what we saw in the majority of practice. Yeah, it's where the incidents normally happen, to be honest. It's a difficult braking zone down there. It's easy to go a little bit wide, and as we saw with Damien Horverton, if you do go a bit wide, there's no tarmac to lean on. You are into the grass, and that will lose you positions, lose you time for sure. Into the final corners for Bradley Lovings. Out of the final turn in a few moments' time. This won't be pole, I wouldn't have thought. It will. If it is, it will be very impressive indeed. But this will sort of set the tone for his session. There you go. Ooh. It's only 18th for the moment, but he will climb through the field later. Alfie Nichols now in towards the final corners as well. He's still got 2 more laps to go after this one. This will be something similar. He'll be right around Lovings, I think, here with this time.
Fourth.
No, it's a lot quicker. A lot quicker. Alfie Nichols 4th on his first time.
Yeah, 4th on his first lap is absolutely amazing. He's going to have to go again, but we're going to get Brad. See how Bradley Loving gets on the run up to for James Hillericks. Ever the optimist is in YouTube chat. It's going to be complete mayhem. That's what he's built. So, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Who knows?
Very optimistic outlook on the race, though. That's excellent. We'll see if he's proven right or not, and he can have a smirk on his face later, or whether it will be better than he's expecting. Bradley Lovings then up towards the line again, or up towards the end of the second sector, and that's no better than what he did on his first lap. Does need to pick up the pace here a little bit. Lovings, the championship leader, of course. Josh Herring in this session is only 15th, to be fair, so the bar isn't that high as far as the standard of these two goes. Out towards the line now for Bradley Lovings. Not sure that's much quicker than what he did before.
Ooh,
there he goes. Well, it wasn't actually, but he did move up a lot of places because it's so close. 8th place for Bradley Lovings this time round. What about Alfie Nichols? He's been fantastic on the opening lap. Has his second lap been as good? It's around the same, I think. Does he? Yes, he does move up 1 place, but it's a minute improvement. Needs to find 4 attempts to take pole.
Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot when you think about it. It's a blink of an eye, a bit of a bumper, to be blatantly honest, but that's not good for Mr. Lovings. Having a slower sector 1, he's going to have to really get on his boots through sectors 2 and 3 to see if he can get onto that pole position. But at the moment, he's sitting in 8th place.
He's backed off it. He's backed off. He's not going quickly enough at the moment. You just tell by the lines he's taking. He's not pushing hard at the moment. Alfie Nichols hasn't gone any quicker in the first sector either. He's gone back to the pit lane. So same story for Alfie Nichols as well. It's not going to be pole for either of these two. It is going to be Scott Kimbrough who takes the pole position here. Based on the practice times, I'm a little bit surprised about that, I've got to say. Although Damien Horverton may feel he had that chance, of course, on that last lap. He was going quickly in the first sector before he ran wide at Moss Corner, and that was the end of that. This is Cole Modric. He's down in 29th at the moment. Not the last of the pros. That's Rick Modric, who's down in 31st. However, does need to move up the order here. Otherwise, he'll be at risk of being overtaken by the likes of Ryan Merriam in the championship. Here comes Cole towards the line, and that is a small improvement, but it gets him quite a lot of places again because it's so close. As we've said, 22nd place for Cole Modric, and that's pretty much the end of the session.
I thought he was going to shoot up further than that. I really did. I thought Cole Modric was on a bit of a run then, and I thought he was going to go a lot quicker, but guess not. There we go, unfortunately for Cole Modric. But what do we think? How many cars are going to be off in turn 2?
I don't think turn 2 is going to be the problem. I think Moss Corner could be the problem, though, to be fair.
You reckon?
I think it's a more difficult corner than turn 2, to be honest. No, turn 2 is difficult, and I'm not trying to say that it's not, but I do think Moss Corner is a bit more difficult, and especially when you get towards the middle and the back end of the field, you've got a real concertina effect happening ahead of you when you go into Moss, because it's such a big braking zone compared to turn 2, where there's no concertina really, because you barely hit the brakes before that left-hander.
Yeah, I do agree, but I think the problem with turn 2 is if you're on that outside line, then you start really struggling. So I think that's going to be the issue. We have gone into our 5-minute wonderful warm-up that we of course remembered this week, didn't we?
Well, I did.
But of course I did. I didn't do 4 broadcasts, what was it, 4 broadcasts yesterday and sleep in the middle. So there we go. Yeah, I think, I still think turn 2 is going to cause a problem. I think there is going to be at least 2 or 3 cars taking a trip down the grass on the left-hand side. At least.
James Hillerick says 13. I'm not sure what that refers to. The amount of people who are going to go off?
He's definitely not optimistic, is he?
He's a real sort of just bringing the mood down a bit, isn't he?
It's a little bit, isn't he? James, you're dropping it down a little bit, son. Brighten it up a little bit. Come on.
More optimism.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, when I was a driver, I was very rarely optimistic about anything either. So I could absolutely understand why he would say that. So I get it. The 5-minute warm-up session is, as you can see, underway, and most of the people who want to go out have got out straight away. You can see how busy the back straight is at the moment. Everybody getting used to having other people around them again, and they're going to have to get used to that very quickly indeed because of that start that we've been previewing and the potential for carnage as well. I hope it's not going to be 13 drivers off the road, but there's certainly enough of them for that to be a possibility. It's a busy field, but let's see how they get on at the start. I mean, we could be surprised.
I tell you what, if we see 13 drivers off, no, we can't, James. We can't. That's like a big one at Talladega. You know what I mean? That's a massive one, isn't it? At Talladega with everybody going round. That's how, the thing is, how James feels is how I feel doing ovals at Dega and Daytona and some of the super speedways. You know what I mean? Because it just end up being chaos. But I think that's quite a lot, surely. It's got...
I would say so. But
we would say, but you never know.
Yeah, we will see. So 2.5 minutes to go, and then we'll be into the hour-long race in a few moments' time. Apart from that, I think it could be an interesting one as who's going to win here, because I think there's some drivers in the pro standings especially who have not qualified quite as high up as maybe they had hoped. We've got both championship contenders in pro, Bradley Lovings and Joshua Herring, outside the top 5. Herring's outside the top 10. Indeed, he's right in the middle of the pack. Alfie Nichols didn't quite get his last lap together either. It's going to be Scott Kimbrough and Damian Horverton on the front row. There's plenty of people who can come through and win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Serena's in YouTube chat. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are well. Hope you're having a fabulous time and going to enjoy your nice Sunday morning. As we're coming into, middle of the afternoon for us over here in this wonderful world of the UK where we are at this moment in time. Joshua Herring is out on the racetrack in that Porsche, and we'll see how he gets on. I don't really do a lot through warm-up. I think we've had this conversation before, but I think I just more sort of get a drink and sit and chill, to be honest.
I think it, for me, would depend how much practice I'd done. There's a very long practice session of 1 hour and 15 minutes that goes on before this race. If I'd have done plenty of driving throughout that and then qualifying, I think I would agree. But, for some of these drivers, especially the two who arrived very, very late in the last 5 minutes of practice, I would be using this as a bit of practice, to be honest, with the higher fuel load, of course, which these guys are all going to start with.
Yeah, maybe. That means you're a real racing driver. Whereas I'm not, and I'd sit back and just watch everybody go out and think, carry on, and get a drink, a cup of tea or something.
Just getting a little wee. So
you're always.
I don't know if I tell you, I once cut short a stint at the Spa 24 Hours about 1.5 years ago. 2023 event because I needed a wee halfway through my double stint, so I've got someone else to do the second half of it.
I thought old people had weak bladders, Mr. O'Leary, but you seem to have an exceptionally weak bladder.
Imagine me when I'm old. Goodness me.
Oh my God. Tenement.
It's going to be carnage. Anyway.
Can we get nappies on?
We'll change the subject. The warm-up session is to a close, and we'll bring you up the grid in a few minutes' time as well, because there are a lot of people to try and go through in what could be quite a short formation lap here. So we'll try and get through them all in the gridding up phase. And here we go. Scott Kimbrough has taken the pole position by just half a tenth of a second ahead of Damien Horvaton. Alfie Nichols and Denver Roy a little bit further back, but maybe they can go that little bit quicker than what they did in qualifying in the end. Sean Riley and Hayden Young are on row 3 ahead of Richard Wedstead, the pole sitter in Pro-Am. The championship leader, Bradley Lovings, is in 8th ahead of Will Coffey and also Philip de la Cruz, Alan Purser and Adam Hansen down row 6. 13th place is Perno Hadot, he's ahead of Mitchell Bowen. It's Brad Tidwell and Joshua Herring on the next row, 2 championship contenders in 2 different classes. Barry Acker and Ryan Merriam on row 9 ahead of Brian Dukowski and Marcel Crocker Jr. Dutch Forak and Cole Modric and ahead of James Niverson, with Heath Unger, the AM pole sitter, in 24th. Jeff Sepulveda is alongside him with Mark Long in 26th. That's Jonathan Williams and John Gardner in the 14th row. James Hillerick and Brett Basil on all AM row 15 ahead of Rick Modric and Quentin Price. It's Michael Chaplin next to Cody Bont, then Jim Sawyer and Joey Mains, the top 2 in the AM Championship, a long way back ahead of Matthew Brennan and Cameron Risley. Mike Elliott and Ryan Byers round out the top 40, with Scott Carson and Justin Matney rounding out the field. So that is where we stand. The drivers are just making their way around the formation lap at the moment. They're just setting off on their way, and in a lap's time we'll be getting forward to the green flag in a few moments' time. One thing about that screen there, by the way, just while it's there, JT Sawyer and Joey Mains, 35th and 36th, 2 AM Championship contenders, nearly at the back of the entire field.
They are at the moment, but I don't expect it to be. They're going to be there for very long. I think they might move up quite quick, to be honest. But then again, if they haven't really got the pace here, then maybe they won't. But we'll have to see how they get on.
Well, yeah, it might help them early on to not be involved in the midfield, but they certainly will need to climb through the field at some point. The 2 of them are separated by just 8 points in the championship. In case you've not been with us so far this season, it is 1 point per position, effectively. Top 60 get points, so that's the maximum that we can have on a race day, and it's every position earns you a point. Makes it very simple to work out, indeed, but only 1 position between them at the moment. In terms of the Pro-Am Championship, we know that Bradley Tidwell has a decent lead, but he is starting way down on the 8th row at the moment, down in 16th place, which is maybe qualifying a bit further down than he would have really liked.
Yeah, I think being down that low is always going to cause a problem, and I think that's the thing. You're in that mid-pack, and that mid-pack is always a pain, isn't it, really? Because you're generally the ones that might end up getting taken out. So it's a bit of an issue, but hopefully these guys will get through cleanly.
Hopefully. We'll see how they get on. 55 minutes will be on the clock as we get ready to go racing in the OGRL Coffee Cup here for round 16, would you believe it, here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport, as we'll just call it. Next week it's at Montreal, by the way, and then we'll be at Sebring for the final race of this sub-season. 90 minutes that will be, so we look forward to those in a few weeks' time. But that will bring us all the way to Christmas and the end of this season. And at that point we'll be in the home stretch as the final 6 weeks of this series are upon us, right the way to February the 16th and the finale of this season. Pace car comes in and Scott Kimbrough is going to be in control of the field here in the OGRL Coffee Cup, and he does not waste any time. Damien Horvaton completely caught off guard. Alfie Nichols was waiting for it, and he's already into 2nd place by turn 1. Then it's Damien Horvaton. Then it's side by side for 4th as Trevor Van Roy holds off Sean Riley. Richard Wedstead is meanwhile side by side with Hayden Young as the Pro-Am leader. He's trying to stay on the inside. You don't want to be caught too far out wide here through turn 2, but the top 10 especially gets single file on this opening lap.
Yeah, everybody's got through cleanly, believe it or not, through turn 2. They're all single file. You can see them all the way through the field. Cameron Risley's there as well. Mike Elliott. Coffrey's in pit lane. Dustin Matney has not started the race, so at the moment for him, but Mike Elliott, Scott Carlson having a great scrap. Then Scott Kimbrough up front with Nichols, with Bob Baton, with Van Roy, with Hayden Young, who's had an incident down at Moss here, down at turn 4. We said it would be coming, and unfortunately there's a lot going on at this moment in time. You're going to have to give this a minute. Somebody's, yeah, look, round he goes. Lovins gets caught up. This ain't done. I'd just like to point you out, there's a lot, everybody else kind of checking up in the meantime. And how did you drive straight literally into him? That's insane.
Oh, they were all alongside each other, so avoiding it would be pretty difficult as well. There is Ryan Merriam, who spun to the outside line. Saw Alan Purser on the inside of the corner as well. I said the concertina effect at Moss Corner was going to be a really key factor, and there you go. Merriam did get through then on Young, and there you go. There's the problem. You don't want to be well, you do want to be avoiding Hen Young, of course, but you don't want to be doing it by driving into somebody else, and that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, that was
Scott
Marshall
Kimbrough
Crocker.
still leads though, ahead of Alfie Nichols, then Damien Hoverton and Dave Van Roy. The top four have gotten away quite well. The rest of them have much bigger gaps because they all had to avoid Hayden Young and some of the others who'd spun.
Yeah, that was Marshall Crocker Jr. who got into Ryan Merriam, and that's somebody off the side of the circuit. It's Damien Horvaten off the side of the circuit at Moss as well. Moss still causing a little bit of a bottleneck. Keith Ollinger leading the AMs up into 17th place. Sepulveda is up 4 places in 21st. Ollinger's up 7. Hilleric's down there, and JT, who is in 29th place at this moment in time. Michael Chaplin's gone straight back to pit lane. Ooh, so whatever he did it very... Oh, God, turn 2. Did he run wide? He's going to bounce.
Oh, nice. Oh, he had to oversteer and then slides to the outside. That's a big hit with the wall, I'm afraid. Well, Michael Chaplin, who is back to pit lane, and he will be for some time. Scott Kimbrough still leads ahead of Alfie Nichols, and that battle for third, of course, has changed because Hoverton went wide at turn 5, exactly like he did in qualifying. And this time it's cost him a place to David Van Roy. It might have cost him a place in qualifying, to be honest, because he might have had pole otherwise, but there you go. He does need to sort that out through Moss Corner, because it's going to be passed a lot more times in this race, to be honest. He's going to have a lot more trips past it. Here we go again, down the hill. He's got someone ahead of him to sort of prevent him from braking too late this time round. David Van Roy, who's still ahead of him in third.
Yeah, but he's not really making it comfortable, is he? He ended up going on the curb as well there, so he's not really comfortable with Moss at the moment. Stacey, good morning, JB, good morning. Ellen's in as well, looking forward to a great race, so it should be an absolute barnstormer as we've got Horvaten and David Van Roy side by side. If Horvaten's going to chance the outside line through turn 8, he is at the moment. He's going to get his nose in front. Here, Van Roy can't do nothing about it. Horvaten does get through, and that's the nimbleness of the Porsche over the big lump of the Mustang.
Very well done there from Horvaten. Normally at the high-speed corners like that, the Mustang's okay, but even the Porsche was still able to go right round the outside there. Got a big slipstream, of course, and good straight-line speed for a Porsche. So Horvaten did very well there indeed. Further down, by the way, JT Sawyer's up to 30th, and he was nearly up to 29th there as he tried to overtake Cody Bont in the AM standings. Sawyer still 1 position ahead of Joey Mains. They've both gained 5 positions so far in the race. Here they are, right towards the back end of the field still. Yeah, great job from JT though, up 5 places. Joey Mains up 5 as well, so they're going to be 2 for now. Hammer and tongs as such going at each other. So we'll have to see how Joey can get on, whether or not he can stay there. Don't forget, he is in a Porsche, always dangerous, regardless of what you seem to think about the car. But he's going to have to work hard to get over JT. JT's looking quite strong at the moment, closing all over Cody Bonte, and he needs to, if he's going to get him. Oh, no, don't do that. Where are you going? Oh, that was never going to work. Oh, no. Oh dear. Cody Bonte was a bit over-ambitious there, and he's survived remarkably. I can't really believe that, but he's still ahead of Joey Mains. He's only lost 1 place despite catapulting himself over that curb. Yeah, a little bit of a worry. Don't do that. That's not a passing opportunity. All right, that's never worked. I've not really ever seen it work because one of you always ends up off the side of the circuit, so please don't do that. Otherwise, Cody Bonte, your race is going to be over. Oh, goodness me, sorry. Ryan Merriam there, and Ryan Barras very nearly had a plane crash at the end of the straight there. Thankfully, I think it was Merriam who had to lift off in towards turn 8. I don't think they quite made contact, but they were so close. And it's the highest speed corner on the circuit. You do not want to have an accident there. No, it's game over if you have one that, unfortunately, around turn 8. Ryan Merriam's going to have to try and come back through the field. He's looking at the inside of turn 2. Again, just putting himself off that line. There goes Joey Mains. Oh, he's gone round. Oh, off. Brennan. Hold your brakes. Brennan's off. that was close. He survives though. So are the two related? Possibly. Baines is just ahead of Brennan here, and he just slides out, to be honest. And then, so separately, Brennan was hit by the McLaren right behind him. Now, that was Ryan Byers, was it? I think it was. Yes, it was. Just got into the back of the Ferrari, which also spun around there, Matthew Brennan. No fault of his own, really.
Yeah, he just ran him over. Literally ran him over, and unfortunately for Matthew Brennan, it's good night, Vienna. Ryan Merriam is just cleared Ryan Byers, who has... It's amazing that we've actually had the two people in Formula One cars, wasn't it? The old McLaren livery and the Ferrari livery made contact and unfortunately gone off the side of the circuit. But Kimbrough's still up front with Nichols, still closing all over him. They've opened up 3.6 over Horvath and Van Roy, with Sean Riley in the back as well in the BMWs. It seems to be with Richard Westhead leading the Pro-Ams. Some of the heavier cars at the front as such, with the Fords and the BMWs over the nimble Porsches.
Yeah, it's interesting, the spread of field we've got here. We've got 5 different manufacturers in the top 5, so you can tell that it is possible to get all of these cars around pretty quickly. But it's about what you're comfortable in. Of course, some of these drivers won't be very comfortable around this circuit, and there's not a lot that the car can do to settle your nerves on that. So that is playing a role as well. But it is interesting to see. On board we go with Alfie Nichols, still very close behind Scott Kimbrough here. These two seem pretty well matched early on, despite the fact that Kimbrough beat Nichols in qualifying by 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, they do at the moment, and it's great to see that these guys are having a battle there. That was Cameron Risley leaving the pit lane. That was not... I thought they looked like Damien Horvath's livery, but it wasn't. It was Cameron Risley leaving pit lane. So we've got a nice little situation going down with Penel Hanlett and Mr. Tidwell in a Lamborghini, who is that close to behind us as we're coming into turn 2.
Oh, Marshall Crocker Jr. had a look, and Tidwell! He brakes too late for turn 2, and he survives just about a moment in the grass. Here goes Barry Acker on the outside as well, and he can't quite capitalise. That was really close for Bradley Tidwell, finding himself very nearly off the road.
And so easily done as well, because that grass grabs. And when the grass grabs, you end up just going off regardless whether or not you like it or not. And unfortunately for Tidwell, he got out okay, but he has closed, Barry Acker's closed right in behind him as well. Melanie Young, good luck. Hayden, well, Hayden is all the way down here at 39th, down 33 places, Melanie, after a lap 1 incident. So, yeah. Bad news.
Bit of luck earlier on. There you go. He is, as I say, on the back of the field now. He's a lap down on the field here in 39th, so a lot of work to do for Hayden Young. Cameron Risley, the only driver still running behind him, because Michael Chaplin's out of the race, and Dustin Matley didn't start for whatever reason, so they are already out. We're down to 40, but good to see. 10 minutes in, we've still got 40 going, to be honest. It was a lot less chaotic than some were imagining at the start, as Polo Hanno and Marshall Crocker Jr. go side by side again. They were very nearly thinking about it at turn 2 last time round, and Marshall Crocker Jr. again thinking about it this time, but he can't do it for 11th place.
Yeah. Oh, is he going to get that inside line? He's got to try and pull that Porsche tight round. Not going to be able to get it. Round in through turn 3 they go. Dropping down the hill up into Moss. He will catch up, don't worry. Well, Melanie, he's very optimistic. He's got a lap. He's a lap down on everybody. So he's got to go a whole lap through the field and then go all the way around to catch him. So as optimistic as I am, Melanie, I've never actually seen somebody manage to do that in a road race. Just saying.
Push people's dreams.
I'm not. I'm being realistic.
Oh, okay. Bradley Tidwell gets close to Marshall Crocker Jr. again. He's recovered pretty solidly after nearly ending his race, to be honest, down at turn 2. It's hard to overstate just how close he was to finding himself a long way off the road. Certainly under the old iRacing model of very slippery grass, he would have been straight off the road there. He'd be very glad that update came a few seasons ago, and it's no longer a sure thing for you to find yourself straight off the road. Yeah,
he was relying on that situation. Marshall Crocker Jr., I am not sure that is a good idea, because you're going to force...
Whoa!
Hanley, what? He's going to... That's the problem. When you're on the inside, you do force the person wide on the outside. The problem is with that is the young person on the outside doesn't really know where to go because he's trying to brake and turn in and he can just see the grass and panic sets in. But Pernell Hanley did a great job there holding on to that one. Through turn 3 they go, up the hill, braking zone there into turn 4. It doesn't really give you a true representative of that corner from when you're off looking at it because it is quite a steep incline up into this. That's just kind of a more realistic view, but off the car it seems like it's nothing, but it is quite a steep incline.
Yep, it is. That was side by side, by the way, between Williams and Iverson and they're still side by side here for 21st, it looks like. Jonathan Williams will get through though on Jason Iverson, and then Jeff Sepulveda is just in behind them. Further up ahead, Heath Hollinger is losing a place here, and he is the AM leader at the moment. That's Mitchell Bowen going around the outside. Oh, Hollinger had to squeeze in front of Williams there. Gets away with it though, and he holds on to 20th place, still pretty comfortably the AM leader.
He's not comfortable. He is not comfortable, and the reason I say that, there is Hollinger, there is Sepulveda. So, although he's being sensible by letting them go through, and I fully understand that on the run through 2 and round the back end of the circuit 10, he can't let too many go. If he lets too many go, Sepulveda's going to be waiting for him. So for Hollinger now, is that toss-up. Does he keep going and trying to hold Williams back before he gets to Everson, or does he let them go and then he battles with second place? I don't know what's going to be the best way.
Haddock's gone off, I think, down here at turn 5. He's dropping down the field, and he's probably not gone off, but he has lost some places. He's down to 14th now. Bradley Tidwell has as well. Look at this, not a very good run for Dukowski. He's sort of stuck without the slipstream now in his side-by-side battle with Pernell Hanley, and so he's going to lose out here into turn 8. And there you go, up to 14th place. Then there's Alan Purser, who joins in despite his trip through the grass earlier on, still going okay. But there's the damage for Tidwell, who's now down the inside of Dukowski into the final corner. It's a very inviting move because of the way that they set themselves up for the final turn, but Tidwell couldn't quite do it there.
No. Been there, done that, not gone well. Tidwell's going to end up on the grass now. He's going to run it all the way round. Is he going to be able to hold on? He does. You can see on the inside there, Alan Purser still trying to go around the outside of turn 3. He's going to have to tuck in behind him. It'll be another run up the Andretti on the back straight, of course, before they're able to get that overtake done again.
That was close to Dukowski, very nearly finding himself off the road there at turn 5. He stays on though, and so does Tidwell, then Mercer as well. The gap at the front, by the way, between Scott Kimbrough and Alfie Nichols has gone out to 1.6 seconds now. But Kimbrough is going very well. Another 3 attempts put in that time round as well. For third place, David Hoverton has not quite been able to get away from David Van Rooij just yet. No,
Van Rooij's putting him under a whole load of pressure. And I think for Horvath, it's probably the worst person I would want behind me because David does drive this Mustang rather well. So for Horvath, this is not a good idea. I am surprised though, with the power of that Mustang, that he hasn't got him on that Andretti straight. I don't know if he will keep on board. Maybe he's lifting and holding on to it. I don't really know.
Well, yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking about when Hoverton overtook him first time round. To be honest, I thought that's not going to be. It's not going to be a good, very good display now, is it? But anyway, that's what I thought when Hoverton overtook it, because the Porsche traditionally has been a lot slower than the Mustang in a straight line. But Hoverton came roaring round the outside of him into turn 8 all those laps ago. So I don't really know. As Purser gets through on Dukowski and Tidwell, by the way, here for 16th place. Not sure how he's managed that, but it's a real mess back here. Goodness me.
Yeah, something has obviously gone on there. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Was this coming in down the hill into 4? There's Tidwell there. There's Dukowski. Whoa, Purser just... Ah, there was a back marker involved that may have had a little bit of something to do with that as well.
I reckon so. Yeah, I reckon that back marker, had it not been there. Oh, it's raining! Oh, it's raining!
Oh, brother!
The rain is falling at Canadian Time Motorsports Park. How many drivers were expecting that here this afternoon? That is going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here, and it's going to make this race a real headache for everybody now. Pernod Hannock right ahead of us here, struggling immediately. The rain on his screen is affecting him more than the actual grip. Someone's got wide at turn 2. That's a lap car just trying to stay out of everybody's way. Tukowski's getting close. Here goes Tidwell. He's looking to make places now in these wet conditions, and he gets through into 16th place.
Yeah, that was Cameron Risley on the outside trying to stay out of trouble, but now the rain's come in, and this is going to cause a bit of a problem. I can tell you that much, because they have got pit stops, but the question is, can they get there? Can they get there, do we think, before they need to change tyres?
I think so. I think they can. I think they can do it, because 60% fuel limit in this series. If you can make it to half an hour to go, I think you'll be fine. That's only a few minutes away now. Already, Kimbrough's losing a lot of time. Alfie Nichols looks like he's a bit more comfortable, although there is a lap car ahead of Scott Kimbrough here. Is that playing a role? I don't think so. I think the lap car's too far away, to be honest, but Nichols is closing. Look at this. Last time around, Alfie Nichols was 3/10 of a second quicker.
Yeah, he's closing in on him. Kimbrough now as well. He's got Brennan up the road, Joey Means up the road as well. And at the moment, he's managing to hold on. I think the rain coming in is really going to throw this out. And as soon as we see cars spinning, then I think everybody will be in to look to chase tyres, because I think they have to be.
I would be very hesitant to pit before they can make it on fuel, though, as Iverson and Williams, by the way, have gone off, I think, at Moss Corner again. Or is it before then? It might have been at turn 3, actually. But anyway, they're dropping down the field. They're outside the top 20 now. And in. Let's have a look what happened here. Maybe turn 2, actually. But they've managed to get themselves off the road. Oh, he's too wide there. That wouldn't have worked in the dry. And Iverson just followed him.
Just, I think a couple of people still presuming it's wet. Matthew Brennan's in pit lane. First of the guys that are in pit lane at the moment.
Yeah, that was right in front of these two, and he's put wets on immediately. Scott Carson's also put wets on. Last time round there was a 1:25 as far as I can see. That is not anywhere near what these guys are doing, although it has already cost them 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So you can tell that the weather's having an effect. It's just too early for the moment to put wet tyres on.
Yeah, I think if you can get onto the wets, great, but you've got to make sure you can get to the end of the race. I don't see the point. If you can't get to the end of the race, I would not put them on now, because you are just wasting time, and I think it'll be way too soon.
However, I think they are getting to the stage where they can make it already. Don't forget, they will be burning a lot less fuel in the wet weather conditions that we're going to have for the remainder of this race than they were in the dry. So this could be already in the window. They're just waiting for the wet tyres to come in. Scott Kimbrough is struggling compared to Alfie Nichols. Is it driver comfortability, or is it the cars reacting to the wet weather differently? Not sure, but Kimbrough is losing time. 6/10 that time round, and we've got a battle for the lead now.
Yeah, we definitely have. Is it? Oh, it is still raining. I thought it saw it, spat down and then left again, but nope, it is still going. Oh, Nichols off the road on the outside of turn 2. Richard Westhead in behind the back of Sean Riley, literally in the back of Sean Riley, as they're going around turn 2 as well. This is going to get very, very treacherous very, very quickly. Alan Purser's in and Cole Modric is in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a rush. That's James Hillerick leading the arms. Heath Ollinger must have had a moment there as well, because James has got through.
Yes.
Here.
Yes, absolutely.
Lap 11.
Let's have a look at what happened. I don't think the rain was even falling at this point. Heath Ollinger
got it all wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, but he's got behind James Hillerick, and so Hillerick pitted from the lead of the class. Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing, to be honest. He got a bit of a slide.
Yeah. Heath is now back out in the lead, because James is in pit lane, Ryan Merriam, Jonathan Williams, Brett Basil, Rick Modric has all been in, Jeff Sepulveda's been in and got dry tyres on. But
that's not ideal. Alfie Nichols is in as well, by the way, with Devin Hoverton, but Scott Kimbrough's carried on. What are the times looking like for these drivers who are on wet tyres? I'm not sure it's really quicker at the moment, although we are getting a lot slower now on dry tyres, and it's getting a lot more treacherous as well. These conditions are way more treacherous than before. Bradley Loving stays out, but Joshua Herring comes in. The Pro Championship battle has been split apart by drivers pitting in. This is on board with Jeff Sepulveda in 31st. He has got the dries on, as you say, so has Jonathan Williams, despite having made a pit stop.
Yeah, I don't know why he would have pitted and put dries on. Surely that's... Oh no, that could not be wrong, actually. That could actually be right, to be blatantly honest, because he has just cost him... Well, Stella Cruz has got yellow on the side of his tyres. Hanley's got yellow as well. So that could actually be right, that the guys... No, because Mitchell Bowen's got yellows and he's got slicks on his tyres. But I'm not quite sure why Sepulveda's come into pit lane and put slicks on, if that is the case.
I'm not sure really what the tyre markings mean. There needs to be an easier way for us to visually see the wet tyres.
They need colours.
Because sometimes our data can be wrong, as we learnt last night. David Van Roy and Richard Wedgstead are in, by the way. Scott Kimbrough carries on again, but that was a 1:26.9. That is definitely slower than some of the wet tyre runners further down in the field. I think we've reached the crossover point, and I think Scott Kimbrough now is losing time. Look how slowly he's having to go.
Yeah, he is, but there's Alfie Nichols down in 6th. So for Scott, he's got to get, all of a sudden, he's just gone absolutely mightily treacherous there. Rick in YouTube chat, Lovins to the front in the rain. Well, if Lovins is in pit lane now, to be honest, I'm hoping he puts wet tyres on and doesn't make a mistake and puts dries on. Nichols is into 2nd, but it's whether or not Kimbrough 4, where is he? He's at 4, isn't he? Round Moss. So slow. But then again, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a mass cycle.
I think, well, yeah, he's not losing time very quickly in the relative, is he? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Devin Horton's lost some time in the pit stops as Van Roy and Redstead have got ahead of him, but the two are battling now directly ahead of him, and he's through on Devin Van Roy, who's clearly getting up to speed, a bit slower than the other two. The Porsche should be good in the wet weather, it always has been. So up to 5th place for Devin Horton. Finally, Scott Kimbrough's in with 31.5 minutes remaining here to put the wet tyres on.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on where Alfie is. He's coming up that road. Don't forget, it's not a massively long pit stop, pit lane. So for Scott, he might have a little bit of time. That Nichols gap is coming down, mind you. Pit stop time's round about 20 seconds by the looks of things. They're all going to need tyres, so he's going to have to go up in the air. And I think, to be honest with you, I think that might release Alfie out in front.
Let's have a look here for Alfie Nichols. Out of the final corner, I think he's going to be leading as well here, ahead of Scott Kimbrough, but we'll see. Yep. And there we go. Easily done for Alfie Nichols. He is in the lead of this race. He's timed his pit stop well. Scott Kimbrough left it at least 1 lap too long, maybe 2. And so there you go. Out comes Kimbrough. Oh, absolutely side by side with one of the McLarens there. And he's having to squeeze past on the right-hand side. That was awkward. He gets through though. He's a long way behind Alfie Nichols now. 8 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, I think Alfie went in and pit that moment rather well. That was Gardner in behind, coming out the pit lane together. Horvaton and Van Roy dropped off a little bit, but Horvaton's got Richard Westhead in the Pro-Ams in front. There's Basil's in pit lane. Williams is still in pit lane. So a lot of people have got into the pit lane. Hayden Young went in again. He is on his 2nd pit stop after his first one went a little bit wrong. Westhead and Horvaton, don't do that. You're going to put him round. Westhead's not giving it up. Oh, he did put him round.
Overton and Van Roy just about avoids as well. Overton might well find himself in trouble for that one. Contact at Moss Corner, and Richard Wedgstead pays the price. He is down to 6th place now in this race, and that looked like Overton too ambitious on the inside. Philip de la Cruz catches up, and by the way, Wedgstead needs to just calm things down here. He's in the lead by miles in the Pro-Ams, as long as he just keeps things going nicely here. Yeah,
as long as he keeps it on the racetrack, he'll be okay, but he's just got to settle down a little bit. Pick your battles. He's got De La Cruz closing in behind him at the moment. So for him, he's got a lot to try and deal with, but I think at the end of the day, if he's sensible, he will be able to get through. Heath Island James Hillerick the optimist in YouTube chat earlier on, is leading the AMs, believe it or not.
I bet he wasn't predicting that for himself at the start. I bet he was predicting himself to finish last.
Absolutely.
Based on how optimistic he was being before. Heath Hollinger's second, but he's 14 seconds behind him. And we saw that Hillerick pitted in before Hollinger, or he was ahead of Hollinger when he pitted in, and he pitted before him. So it was all very well planned out for James Hillerick there. There is Heath Hollinger as they all tiptoe through turn 8. This has become very treacherous very quickly.
Yeah, this spread of rain has literally really put the cat amongst the pigeons. They have all of a sudden been ambushed almost by the rain, and nobody's really able to get pace going. JT's in there trying to put his foot down, and he can't. He's trying to follow his teammate of Everson, but Everson can't get on the gas either. There's people running wide. It's like a little bit of a busy ice rink on a Christmas period at the moment, where you're trying to not run over hands, but dodge some person who's, that Mustang.
No. Wow, he saved that. I can't believe it. Cannot believe he saved that as Coffey. That was a really sideways moment for him. This is a huge battle, by the way, from Dan Sporak in 20th all the way down to Rick Modric, who's down in 27th. There is Sporak, and he's indeed behind someone, about to lap someone. It's very, very difficult indeed. Up into Moss Corner they go. Sporak trying to put that driver a lap down, and they run wide to get out of his way. Look how slowly they're having to go, though. This is remarkable.
Yeah, that's Quinton Price. Not Quinton Price, that was Scott Carlson on the right-hand side in the background. You can see the four of them all now coming through, literally climbing over each other to see who's going to get where and who can get to the front. And at the moment, Will Coffey is the one who's there. But he has got a very fast JT Sawyer tucked in right behind him. So a lot going on here, but we've got Hansen and Hanley have just swapped places in the Pro-Ams.
This is for second place. Hansen with a big wiggle there down the hill. Now Hanout's going to be under big pressure from somebody a lap down. That's Cody Bond trying to get through on him there in the Porsche. Hoverton, by the way, has got up to third place and Sean Riley. He is going very quickly in this wet weather condition. Not quite quicker though than Alfie Nichols did a 1:25.3 that last time round. That's quicker than anybody else in the entire field. And some people further down in the battle we were just watching for 20th earlier on are in the 1:31, 1:32s. Look at this, they're sliding all over the place and into the wall. That's JT Sawyer, the AM Championship leader.
Oh, JT, you saw it going as well. And that's the problem, you saw it going and there was nothing he could do. Nothing. He literally just had to sit there, and in the process, Ryan Merriam was making his way back through the field in 25th. He's come under the radar a little bit. Looks like Mark Long has gone off. Oh, he's not.
No,
oh, no,
with Dan Sporak.
Yeah, not on his own.
No, the two of them were battling side by side towards Moss Corner, and they've both gone off. A big crash down the hill there at turn 5. Now then, how did this happen for Mark Long? Oh, he gets a big slide on, and oh no, it is a separate incident. Mark Long slaps the wall himself, and Dan Sporak loses it as well and goes straight into the Mustang. That is remarkable.
That is very bizarre. That's one of the bizarrest ones we've seen, I think, all season on that. This has got calamitous. Oh, that Porsche's on the outside as well.
James Hillerick, I think that was. Was it one of the lap? I was not sure. Oh, no, it was Hayden Young.
Yeah, Hayden Young been off. Did he go off, or did he manage to?
I think he gathered it up, but we'll find out here. He had all manner of spray in front of him. Broke a bit too late, was a bit too wide, and he's in the grass. He will survive, though, without hitting the wall, so gets away with that. Well done. Out of the Moss Corner they go, and then back to David M. Roy, who's just ahead of Richard Winstead, who's still leading by a long way in the Pro-Ams. Bradley Tidwell is only just ahead of Pernod Hanout, by the way, and previously was only just ahead of Quentin Price, but all of a sudden I can't find Quentin Price in the field. Oh no, he is 18th at the moment. Sorry, I'm not looking properly. So 4 positions between the two. Price is losing those points at the moment, and Richard Modric as well is losing points as well to Bradley Tidwell as things stand, who's going to extend his championship lead even further.
Yeah, he is at the moment, but he's done a great job in that Lambo, keeping it on track, avoiding incidents. That's always good. Ryan Merriam and Barry Acker are on their way around turn 8, but I think for Tidwell, he's done what he's had to do here. He just kept it on the black stuff, still keeping it on the black stuff. Ryan Merriam's trying to go up. That is a lot of uncertainty there from Barry Acker. No wonder he didn't really go for it. He didn't really know what Acker was going to do, to be blatantly honest. I wouldn't have known what he was doing, but it was, yeah, he's going to have to try and move through. Westhead has taken a trip off the grass. Now, whether or not that was a massive trip, I don't think so, but he is still sitting first in Pro-Ams.
Yeah, he went just a bit wide at Moss Corner, and Bradley Lovings was able to get through as a result. That means Lovings is 3 positions ahead of Josh Herring, who's now in 9th place. Iverson and Price, meanwhile, have gone off. That's pretty big for the Pro-Am Championship. Quentin Price off the road and down outside the top 20 now. No prizes for guessing where it is. It's the exit of turn 2, which is now a bit of a traction zone that Quentin Price has got wrong, and he has hit the wall.
Yeah, he has. Everson comes in behind him, I think, and probably near enough does the same thing. And looking like it, because there's Quentin Price. He's out the way. Ollinger's, oh no, they're going to hit.
No.
Is he going to hit? Oh no, he runs up the inside. So great avoidance from Everson, but that could have been very, very messy.
Robertson and Kimbrough, meanwhile, changed places because Scott Kimbrough's gone off, I think, down at Moss Corner. Oh, he has been in the wall. Scott Kimbrough, the pole sitter for this race, has suddenly been in the wall at Moss Corner. The conditions are getting more and more difficult here at Mosport. Have a look at this down the hill. It's treacherous.
Yeah, that's where the puddle sits. That's the problem, isn't it? David Van Roy's been... no, it wasn't David Van Roy. Joey Means is off as well. It looks like it's getting very, very dodgy out there at the moment. Cole Modric has been off the side of the circuit. That's going to kick that car to the right. There we go. Bang. And in the wall. That, if you were there today and you were watching it in the rain, it would be like a, you know, you'd be able to pick up all sorts of carbon fibre bits.
That'd certainly be where you'd sit if it was in real life. Indeed, that's a huge slide for Iverson in the background. He just survives though, as Acker is now overtaken by Ryan Merriam for 17th place. Look at James Hillerick, by the way, 14th place in the AM lead. What a fantastic drive from him so far in this field. He won't be complimenting himself for it, I wouldn't imagine, but anyway, he certainly deserves to. 14th place, what a drive.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if we get him in for a chat at the end. He literally... just come in YouTube chat, it's going to be mayhem. That was it, that was all he said. And so far, he's been all right. He's kind of stayed out of it. Cameron Risley is having a horrendous day. I don't even want to show you what that poor young man has been up to, but he has done multiple things at pretty much every part of the race circuit for Cameron, so he is having a shocker. So I won't impound that poor young man's misery. Everson's trying to go up the inside of Ollinger here. And, oh no. Is he going to make
managing it?
Yeah, he's managing it, but that could have been scary.
Ollinger has fallen apart in the rain, really. He was very good in the dry conditions. He is really struggling in the wet weather conditions. I think that is the race leader, Alfie Nichols, just coming over like it is indeed. He's lapping these guys. So we're going to see a lot of drivers a lap down after this. Alfie Nichols is lapping Jason Iverson, who's in 19th, but it's almost like he's in a different class of car. He's going so much quicker than them.
Yeah, he is going exceptionally fast, is Alfie, at this moment in time. Maybe he's a bit of a rain meister, should we say, as he goes round now, just about to put a lap. That would be 9/20 from 20th. He's managed to do that. Lapped everybody up to 20th. Everson in 19th, of course.
And last time round, 129.0. He was a bit slower than Deming Horvath, to be fair, so he's not the fastest driver on the circuit, but he's a lot faster than the drivers he's lapping at the moment. 8.3 seconds the gap, 20 minutes to go. Has Deming Horvath got enough time and enough speed to overtake Alfie Nichols? Now, he's not in any traffic like Nichols is. That might be why the gap's coming down quite so quickly, but it's positive signs for Horvath, who might be able to get back on terms for a battle for the lead at the end. Yeah,
well, we're going to find out how much pace he's actually going to have very soon. Hayden Young is closing in on, that's Cody Bodney. There's a Ferrari off the side. It looks like Matthew Brennan off the side of the road. Hayden Young has gone through, got a lot more confidence clearly in the rain than some of these guys. Sean Riley, David Van Roy, Bradley Lovin and Richard Westhead are very close together on their run into turn number 8. 19 minutes on the clock.
Towing, aren't they? This is really incredible. The wet weather tyre is clearly not moving any water. It's so slippery. These drivers are not able to go quickly at all. It's one of the McLarens in the way, trying to move out the way. It's JT Sawyer, that is, the AM Championship leader, who's getting lapped by these guys. And look at this, Bradley Lovings should be the quickest in this field. The Porsche looking very strong in these conditions, as they so often do in the wet weather. Now looks to the outside line, tentatively, but look at how little correction he's having to do compared to some of the other cars, like the McLarens, Ferraris, Mustangs and BMWs as well. Look at that. A little bit of opposite lock on the way in for David Van Roy. Watch this on the way out as well. I'd be surprised if he holds it down nicely. Oh, he does. Very nicely done. But on the way in, you saw the correction going on through into turn number 3. It's so difficult indeed. Have a look at this again. Over the rise of the hill. Look at Lovings in the camera as well. He's getting so close. The Porsche is just way more comfortable in these conditions.
And I am surprised about that. I'm literally physically shocked that the Porsche is so comfortable, because this back end, it does what it wants at times, and I am surprised the Porsche is stable in the rain. I've got to be honest. I think that would be one of the worst ones.
It's the agileness and the traction that really helps. I know that the rear end can be a problem, and at high speed, and I imagine this corner isn't very nice probably, but the other corners that are sort of medium to, actually some of these corners around here at this circuit now are actually quite low speed, because they're going so slowly as it's so slippery. So the Porsche is really liking the traction zones, because all that weight is on the rear end, as you were talking about. The traction is so good, and it's very agile as well, as we've already seen. So it's just about making the overtakes now for Lovings. That's going to be the real problem, because David Van Roy's Mustang does take up quite a long lot of the road, as we know.
It definitely does. One man that's also taken off and going to see every part of the road is poor old Quinton Price. We've been here before.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that is the same. No, that's a different incident.
That is different.
Yeah.
He's crunched the corner there in a lot more of a damaging fashion, though. I'd be surprised if he's got away without damage this time.
Yeah, it does not look good for him. Bradley Lovins is in behind Van Roy. Oh, Lovins! Oh, man.
Saves it. And see, there's the difference as well. I don't think that would have been savable in some of the other cars, as that was Sean Riley, who has just hit one of the McLarens, and he's just turned them around.
Oh, that's Jeff Sepulveda.
Now, this is quite rude, really, when we have a look at it. I know Sepulveda's lap down, but even so, you can't just run him over at this, Sean Riley. Have a look at that. There you go. Just runs him over.
Did he? Yeah. No, I do agree with you, he ran him over, but I also do think that Sepulveda was a lot slower than Riley, and maybe Riley just miscalculated the speed on him.
Yeah, well, no, I probably shouldn't suggest it's intentional, but he certainly did run him over. Inside line for Van Roy there. He had a peak, and he is quicker, I think, than Sean Riley, but he's also struggling with the problem of overtaking, and that's been a real difficulty now at this circuit. It can be in the dry, even in these wet conditions, though. It's appearing to be a problem. One of the Porsches very slow on the inside line. Look at the outside and how little grip there is. Lovings is going to be having a bit more joy, though. He can't quite do it, though, in towards turn 3. Just look at how much easier the traction is for the Porsche, especially out of turn 2. We're not seeing Lovings get anywhere close to doing something like the spins that Quinton Price has had on a couple of occasions, for example.
Oh, Lovings is going to go. No, don't. Oh, man. Moss too wide.
Well done. Well done. And now, too wide again. This is an even bigger squeeze. Oh, my goodness. That was David Van Roy on the outside of Richard Wedstead, who, don't forget, has been capped around in that very situation in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And the worst thing is look at the size of the machines you're trying to put there. You know what I mean? Isn't it? It is literally trying to squeeze through. I don't know. I can't think of the perfect analogy that isn't likely to get me in trouble.
It's very difficult indeed. Sean Riley's catching Scott Kimbrough, by the way, as well, so this could be a battle for third place. Even though we're sitting, Riley might well be the slowest of these four, he is quicker than Scott Kimbrough. There's the puddle on the outside line, by the way, out of the final corner. We're starting to really see them collect up as the rain continues to fall here at Mosport, and no matter whether it does or not, it's going to be a wet track to the very end now.
Yeah, it definitely is. Lovins is going to be, it's cemented in. The thing is for Lovins now is how's he going to handle Riley? And if he can get past Riley, I still think he's catching Kimbrough. Kimbrough is not comfortable in the rain. He might have 5.5k, but if that's 5.5 or 5.2k, if that's 5.2k in the dry sun, you're going to lose a lot of it in the rain, because he is coming, that time was coming down quite quick at certain parts of the circuit. Through turn 1, 2 and 3, he's a little bit more stable through 4 and on the run out. Well, you got nothing between turn 4 and 8, to be blatantly honest, but he is struggling a little bit. Lovins must fancy his opportunity here at third place, but he's got to clear Riley, and he's got to do it very quickly.
Behind, by the way, Wedstead's got through on Ben Roy. That was quite an amicable pass, really. He kind of let that happen. Here comes Lovins. Will he make the move or not into turn 8? No, not quite on this occasion. Josh Herring, meanwhile, is holding back Mitchell Bowen for 9th place. Lovins is gaining points today on Herring, extending his championship lead, but how many points is it going to be? Herring needs to hold on at least to 9th to try and minimise the damage that's being done this afternoon.
Yeah, he needs to stay where he is if he can for Herring, and see how he gets on and whether or not he can hold on to that position. Oh my God, it's come down. Riley and Lovins, they were literally down about 2 tenths. Oh, don't try the outside of 2, surely. No. Pull it back in, pull the nose back in. Oh, dearie me. Not good. You don't want to be there. For some reason on that part of the racetrack, when you go over that hump on that outside, it just wants to pull you. Whether or not that's you not putting in enough left turn to get it round, it just wants to pull you out. And it's very, very difficult indeed.
Look at how close he is towards turn 5. This is where he overtook. Oh. He's got to be careful, and he just about stopped it in time before he caused an accident. That was really close.
Oh, a big boy move from Brad Lovins. I tell you what, he stuck him in his pocket and ran with him that time, because he nearly literally went through and sent it on that one. That was impressive. He got it stopped, because that could have been a torpedo of Bradley Lovins coming through on the side of Sean Riley.
No, he nearly was. Richard Western's got some damage on the front right, by the way, because of all the things he's been involved in today. Contact with Damon Hoverton earlier on, bit of contact with David Ben Roy as well, and that's why his front end looks a little bit misshaped with 11.5 minutes to go. He's looking quick though. Redstead's looking very good indeed, and maybe close enough for a move at turn 1. Loving's looking in the mirrors and even feels the need to defend this time round.
He don't want this. Brian Lovins does not want this at all. Lovins needs Riley out the way, because if Westhead if he can put Riley between them, fine. Riley and Westhead can battle all day, crack on. But for Lovins, he's got the pace in that Porsche. The problem is look at the gap between Riley and Kimbrough. It's 1.7 now as well. That is somebody getting themselves out of the way. I think that's Quinton Price actually, who's also had a bit of a rotten race. So it's gone out to 1.7 now from that 1.2. So Lovins needs to clear this man. I'm not saying punt him off, I'm saying he's got to overtake him cleanly.
He does. I think if he does it quick enough as well, he can get to Kimbrough. I think the front 2 are gone. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. 23 seconds between Scott Kimbrough and Damien Hoverton at the moment. Hoverton's now less than 4 seconds behind Alfie Nichols. We'll check back in with them if it gets close. But at the moment, they're in a lot of traffic, or they're closing in on quite a lot of traffic towards the end of this race, and they may well not fight. But we'll see, because right now they're in a bit of clean air with 3.5 seconds apart. Here is Marshall Crocker Jr. getting on the back of David Ben Roy, who's been going backwards a little bit in the last few moments. I wonder whether it was a great idea for him to let Richard Westhead through, to be honest with you, because ever since he's been losing time. Yeah,
he's not looking comfortable. That Mustang, I don't believe, is looking quite comfortable in the rain for Ben Roy. Not as comfortable as Westhead's it. But Ben Roy's not looking healthy at all. Riley and Lovins, you can see have come together. JT has side by side with Cody Bonte for 4th place in AMS. JT on the right, Bonte on the left as you look at the screen. And he's JT, you're not going to try it. You are going to try it. You are going to try it. Are you? No. I thought he was going to run him around the outside, but JT's in there as well. Crocker Jr. is just cleared Venroy, so whatever Venroy's up to, he's having a horrendous time. And Riley and Lovins are still going.
Oh, Riley defended the inside line there. He knew that Bradley Lovins would be having a look, but decided that he needed to defend on that occasion. And there, just ahead of him, is a lap car. That is not Scott Kimbrough, of course. That instead is a lap car. Richard Price, meanwhile, has gone back to pit lane.
Yeah, he's had what can only be deemed as an absolute rotten evening. Unfortunately, Serena, I do apologise. But look at that. Look, he's just... Yeah, he's just Bambi on ice at this moment in time on that one. Padel Halle has also had a crash, but this Adam Hansen had a moment before that. I'm wondering if involved. No, Padel Halle just goes around all on his own. So yeah, getting very, very dramatic. But this Riley Lovins is still hotting up here, and Ryan Merriam has got to the arms of Hillerick. I shouldn't think Hillerick will cause him any problems. And
nope.
He doesn't.
There we go. And pulls out the way. So well done, James Hillerick. He is still a long way in front of Heath Ollinger. In fact, he's over half a minute ahead. Joey Mains is now third in AM, and he's 3 positions ahead of JT Sawyer. So that 8-point championship margin at the start of the day is going to come down to 5 by the looks of things, as Joey Mains gets a bit closer all over again. He's the most realistic challenger now to JT Sawyer, to be honest, with Gary Spencer not here again as far as I can tell. That means he's going to lose out on 2 races, and one of those 0-point scores will count for him, I'm afraid, so he will drop a long way back in the championship as a result of that. Sean Riley and Bradley Lovins are close again, as in the background Marshall Crocker Jr. has got through on Richard Wedstead there. It's not over, they're side by side, as are these two. Oh, lap traffic, they all squeeze through. Sean Riley through the middle, Lovins just had to accommodate a bit more space there. Round the outside, he's going to do it. No, he can't do it in the wet weather conditions. In the dry, the Porsche does like that move, but in the wet weather conditions, it's just too difficult.
Oh man, that back marker I thought was going to play a massive part. Almost when Riley come over, I thought if you touch him, he's going to go off. He ain't going to have a choice. 7 minutes to go, and at the moment, Riley is holding on to 4th. That gap to Kimbrough still 1.6. There is Kimbrough at the bottom of your screen, just gone through. And Lovins still can't clear him to get near him. So Riley really is driven absolutely out of his skin at this moment in time.
It's driven very well as Sean Riley to get into 4th place and stay there for the moment ahead of Bradley Lovins, who is 5th. Marshall Crocker Jr. is coming up on them very quickly though in another one of those Porsches. They really love these wet weather conditions. As things stand, Lovins is gaining 5 points over Joshua Herring. That would double the championship margin to 10. As I don't know what's happened there. Marshall Crocker Jr. though is dropping back, and he is dropped down behind Richard Wedstead again.
Yeah, Riley took turn 4 sideways. Oh no! Whatever he did, he managed.
Notice the lead cap had gone out, and Demian Horvatin has clearly. This is why pushing too hard at turn 5, and that might be the race now. That might be Alfie Nichols to the win for now.
Yeah, I think it might be on that one. There was something else that went on that I want to try and have a look at. What happened here with Marshall Crocker Jr.? Because he had a bit of a moment, I think.
He got through. I think this is him getting through on the back straight here on Richard Wedstead. That would be impressive if he did it round the outside here. Let's see if he did. He breaks a bit. Oh wow, well done. That was a good move. But it all came unravelled. I think at Moss Corner on the next lap. He's now back behind him again in that battle for 6th place. Yeah, there he is, sliding just up ahead of Wedstead. Oh my word! Huge moment.
That weren't sliding. that was jumping. Lots of it. Lovins and Riley side by side on the way down to turn 4.
Finally, he might have it here, Lovins. Round turn 4, they've got to be careful. And then the braking zone for 5. Oh, it's gone wrong. Riley has just about gathered it up. No, he's saved it. Wow. Riley holds on to 5th at least, but Bradley Lovins is through.
Oh man, that well, A, was a good job from pair of them to keep it right, to keep it going. That was impressive. B, now you're gonna watch this gap. Kimbrough has now sat back and gone, oh, beep, because he knows he's going to have Lovins coming at him. And Lovins has got 4 minutes to go. Where is Alfie's on his way round turn 3? So it should be about maybe another 3 to 4 laps.
Yeah, it could be 4 here, actually.
Is he going to get there, though? The Porsches look quick. Kimbrough's not look comfortable. Oh, it's down to a second already. It is.
Also, I think the McLarens have really struggled in the wet weather conditions. You notice how there was quite a lot of them in the top 30 early on. There's now one in the top 15. You know, they have really struggled in these wet weather conditions, in my opinion. And the Porsche has been the best car, I think, in the wet weather conditions as well. So I think Lovins is going to get a chance, but he's going to get there. It's about whether he actually makes the overtake or not, because this time around he's only got 3.5 minutes to go. When he was on the back of Sean Riley and David Van Rooyen and Richard Wedstead and those guys, he had a lot longer left, and it did take him in some cases quite a long time to make the move.
Yeah, but he does look quite comfortable up through Moss. That's the thing for me, I think, from Bradley Lovins. He looks very comfortable going up from Moss, and he's closed the gap down to 7/10. I reckon next lap he's going to have a go if he can. Alfie's gone over the line, so we've got another lap under our belt. I reckon if he can get through 1 and 2, oh, look at the pace he's gathering, 10 already. Oh, it might even be sooner than that.
Let's see just what we're going to have here for this battle. Some more lap traffic up ahead. Jason Iverson is the next driver in line. What role is he going to play in this one? There's also another AM just in front of them here who will play a role. That's Mike Elliott, who is in 30th place at the moment and has just passed Sepulveda, by the way. We've still got quite a lot of drivers on the circuit, although 10 have now either not started or retired.
Oh. What role are you going to
being quite nice?
And
there's Jason Iverson being quite nice as well.
Well, that's how it should be done.
Oh, that's just being nice. That's not how it should be done.
No, it's how it should be done. It's how it should be done.
That's just nice.
Oh, he's got it wrong, Kimbrough.
Dear, oh dear, that's a squeeze. But Kimbrough is not going to have the traction on the outside because first of all he's in a puddle and second of all he's in a McLaren, and Bradley Lovins is going to be through here. Now, can the McLaren, which is better in a straight line, get back through again? If he's on the outside, he doesn't have a chance. All Lovins has to do is bring it to the right. He certainly does, and he will secure a podium in with 1.5 minutes only to go.
Yeah, job done there. Great job from Brad Lovins. One mistake in Moss there for Kimbrough, and it was all over. Westhead is climbing all over back of Riley at this moment in time. So Riley is in a deep hurt here because he needs to try and keep this space if he can to not allow Westhead through, but Riley's not looking comfortable either. Westhead in that Mustang is looking a little bit more comfortable than clearly David Van Rooyen is, who's also gone down the order. Cody Bonte's been off. So has Jim Sawyer. So has JT.
This is turn 5.
Oh, big snap.
Another variation on spin down there. Oh, and he did grab the wall in the Porsche there. He's not had a good day, I'm afraid. And again, I think partly that's down to the McLaren really struggling in this conditions. Oh!
Westhead was
away with it.
God, blimey! Where was he going?
I just slid. Oh, goodness me. And he gets away without hitting the wall. He is very lucky there indeed. Brian Dukowski's off the road now as well. Hayden Young was off the road on this last lap as well. As time is now elapsing, by the way. Alfie Nichols is making his way round turn 2 with Damon Hobbiton just 2 seconds behind him. It's close at the very end between those two, but it looks like Hobbiton's going to run out of laps. He's off in the background. He's pushing so hard to try and get there.
Yeah, he's off the grass. He went off, unfortunately, for Hobbiton, and I think that's probably the end Alfie's just got to keep it on. A few more corners to go, and he will manage to hold on to the victory. But at the moment, yeah, great battling. I want to pick up at second and third in the AMs. This is Joey Means and Heath Ollinger. They're just in front of our leader, so we'll keep an eye on the leader who is going to come through here. But Mains and Ollinger are going to have one more lap. Ollinger sitting in second, Mains in third. James Hillerick up 16 places in first. He's done an absolute incredible job. And Joey's he's getting lapped, unfortunately. But here we go. Alfie's through.
And there will still be about a lap to go for those guys, of course, because here is Alfie Nichols into the final few corners. What a fantastic drive from Alfie Nichols, overcoming these conditions to take his third win in a row in the OGRL Coffee Cup. He flashes the lights, he wiggles over the line. This one of his most impressive drives in the OGRL Coffee Cup, winning in the rain at Mosport with Damien Horverton chasing him all the way.
Whoa! Who is that? Not who I thought that was. Who was in behind it? Because somebody just went shooting up in the air. Hayden Young, Padel Hanley. Could have been Hanley, actually. Who literally went... Yeah.
The two that are very close for position. Marshall Crocker Jr. got very close to Sean Riley there, but didn't quite get through in the end. There is that battle for 26th place, but just ahead of them, Richard Wedstead is going to hang on for the win. Did cast a bit of doubt over that in the final few minutes with that spin at turn 5, but he is still going to get a top 10 overall, and he's going to win in the Pro-Ams as well. A fantastic drive from Richard Wedstead, who wins in the Pro-Ams. And further behind, oh dear,
he's just been turned around. But
turned himself around.
Yeah, it looks like he turned himself. It did look like he turned himself. I thought he got turned there. But James Hillerick coming over the line to wrap up the AM win. Mr. Positive from YouTube chat.
I wonder if he'll be positive about this win as well. 15th in the point standings going into today, but a great drive from James Hillerick to win. Joey Maid finishes battered and bruised ahead of Heath Ollinger in the end, and he will gain 3 points over JT Sawyer in the AM Championship to bring the gap down to 5. Heath Ollinger picked up that damage on the last lap, I think.
Yeah, this is what happened to Ollinger.
Did it on his own.
Yeah. And then unfortunately comes over the line in third, but with damage on that one. So, yeah.
He was the last driver on that lap, on that one lap down, so he got away with it in the end. Alfie Nichols wins by 3.3 seconds ahead of Damien Horverton in the end, with Bradley Lovings on the podium, extending his Pro Championship lead. Scott Kimbrough and Sean Riley ran at the top 5 with Marshall Crocker Jr. just missing out on that in the end. Mitchell Bowen got into 7th ahead of David Von Roy, and then Joshua Herring, who loses 6 points ground in the championship. Richard Wedstead wins in the Pro-Am ahead of Ryan Merriam and Alan Purser. It's an AM win for James Hillerick, who finishes ahead of Bradley Tidwell, extending his Pro-Am Championship lead. Brian Dukowski rounds out the top 15 with Adam Hansen, the first driver, 1 lap down. Barry Acker was also a lap down with Jason Iverson. 19th place was Hayden Young after a great drive back through the field with early problems for him. Rick Roderick rounded out the top 20, with Joey Mange gaining ground in the AM Championship as well. He's now just 5 points behind JT Sawyer in 24th. Heath Ollinger and Cody Bomb were in between them. Quentin Price was also 2 laps down after a difficult day for him. Brett Basil held on in the end from the likes of John Gardner, Matthew Brennan and Perno Hanno, who crashed into the pit wall at the end. Mike Elliott was 3 laps down along with Jeff Sepulveda. Cameron Risley got to the end 4 laps down. Will Coffey, Scott Carson, Cole Modric, Philip De La Cruz, Jans Forak, Mark Long, Jonathan Williams, Ryan Barras, Michael Champlin and Justin McNair all didn't get to the finish in the end.
Yes.
That is your results. Let's go to the AM winner first, shall we? James Hillerick, because he was there first. So we'll bring him in. Welcome in, James. Good to have you. And congratulations on the AM win here this afternoon. I mean, were you expecting that? Surely you were feeling a little bit down on your chances. It certainly seemed that the way you were typing in YouTube chat made it feel like you were very down on your chances. But it turned out you drove very well, had good speed in the rain, and you've won the AM race. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I definitely did not expect it. I've missed 8 races this season, and the last 3 weeks I've missed from work and everything else, and in practice I just could not get a consistent lap here. That was at turn 2. Every time I tried to put down a decent lap, I kept spinning. I guess the rain came out. I went in at the right time with tires and made a huge jump. Kind of just battled it out up there, and I don't know what I finished. I think finished like 17th, something like that. So
13th.
13th. Okay, so that's the highest ever for me. So I'm happy about that. But it just, I don't know. I think the rain got some people. It's a tight track. Like I said, I thought it was going to be complete mayhem. I thought for sure I was going to be wrecked out in lap 2. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm happy with it. I'm glad to be back. Missed the sim rig. It's put a little bit of practice in this week, and it paid off.
Absolutely, it did. Yeah, and it was a great drive. I mean, how was the Porsche in the rain? Because it certainly seemed like, I mean, I don't know this, but it seemed like it may have been the best car to have in those wet weather conditions. How was it to drive?
That's the only car I usually drive. So, I mean, to me, in the rain, I feel like it is good, especially with a full tank. But you know, towards the end of a tank, it gets a little squirrely, but it definitely handles, to me, great. And Rain Masters, every time I run in the rain, that seems like one of the faster cars in the rain. But I don't know. It worked out for me today, so I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, always. My wife, kids, everyone that supports me in doing this on the weekends, allows me to. Josh and Barry Acker been helping me out a lot. And as always, Bradley for putting it on, and you guys for doing a great broadcast. It's a fun to watch afterwards.
Thanks very much, James. Congratulations on the AM win tonight, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, James Hederick there, the winner in the AM standings today. Let's go overall now, and Alfie Nichols, who takes his third win in a row. Welcome in, Alfie. Good to have you with us. Let's chat about the conditions, first of all. What was it that made you finally come into the pit lane on that crossover point? How difficult was it to decide?
Well, for myself, I didn't decide it at all. My teammate in here, Jason, absolute lifesaver, told me to pit right as I got to the pit entry box, and was like, I'm in then, and just an incredible strategy call from him.
Is this better than the last one, Alfie? Sorry, the one who keeps giving you too much fuel.
Well, Sander wasn't here today, so it was just us on our own, so just us drivers working out between each other in the voice chats. And I don't know, I'm not going to say he wouldn't have made the call, but I'm definitely glad I had Jason with me to make it.
Oh, right, okay.
I was going to say, I'm not saying there's a pattern, but you know, there's two things lining up there. Anyway, how were you feeling in the final 10 minutes or so in the race? Damien Huberty was quicker at large points of that final 20 minutes or so, and he was closing in, but he didn't quite get there in the end. How nervous were you that he was going to get involved and get close to you?
The pressure kept building and building the closer and closer he got. You know, he was lapping like a second, nearly 2 seconds quicker a lap than me, but every time he got close, he would then make a mistake. I don't know if he would go offline or if traffic was involved, but it was building and building, and then he'd have this little gap when he'd make a mistake and drop back. But I don't know, if he didn't make them, it would have been interesting to see where we'd be at the end.
Certainly would have been. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Well, of course, I got a big shout out to my mum who's watching downstairs cheering us on. I don't know if she's been in the chat this week, but sure
yes.
she'll be. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been here.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
She's been in there saying, "Go Alfie," and another proud mum moment, bless her.
Yeah, yeah.
You got her something nice for Christmas, Alf, as well. About you. You better get her something nice.
I've got something planned nice, but I'm not going to say too much if she's listening to this.
No, don't
Keep
do
on
that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Ruining it 2 weeks out. Anyway, thanks very much for coming to chat to us again. Congratulations on your third win in a row, and as I say, thanks for chatting to us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. Alfie Nichols there. First place tonight at Mosport and very nearly spoiling Christmas. Let's have a chat to Damien Huberty, who finished in second. Welcome in, Damien. Good to have you with us. You were getting close. You were closing on Alfie Nichols at the end there, but you couldn't quite get there. Were you ever confident that you might just make up the time and get involved in the battle for the lead, or were you always accepting the fact that you might finish second in this?
No, I was in it. I was in it to win it. I was like, At times I was like 3 seconds quicker per lap, but my two biggest mistakes were overshooting the pit. I lost about 6 seconds there, and then I spun it in Moss, another 6 seconds, but I take the P2. It was good. I wanted P1 and I could have got it, but it's racing.
These things happen. I mean, what was the Porsche like in the wet weather conditions? We spoke to James Hinnock about this, and he said he doesn't drive anything else other than the Porsche, so doesn't really know. But it certainly seemed to me that this car was the best car to have in those conditions when it started to rain. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. It is the best rain car. It's got that heavy rear, and every time you get on throttle, you can really squat it down and get it around the corner, something that like the Ferrari doesn't have and Mustang doesn't have especially. So I'd say if you see rain on the calendar, go for the Porsche.
Is there anyone you'd like to go shout out to before we let you go?
Well, my aunt that's waiting for me with my birthday cake right now, and the Canadian weather, of course, as always.
Well, happy birthday. I don't know if it is today. Have you raced on your birthday?
It was on the 27th of November, but I've only seen her now because she's been on a trip to Malta. Fancy.
Oh, nice. Fancy.
Right, yeah, very nice. No, well, a very late happy birthday from us as well.
Thank you.
Because we didn't know. But no, congratulations on finishing second place here tonight, or this afternoon, Damien, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Cheers, lads. See you next week.
Thanks very much. That's Damien Hilbert in their second place tonight in the race, ahead of Bradley Lovings, who got into third at the very end after making an overtake on, nearly everybody. Congratulations, Bradley. Welcome in. It was good to watch you come through the field at the end there. Just how surprised or not are you that you managed to eventually make all the overtakes to get into third?
Yeah, man. If it ever goes wet, you know I'm in there. It was sketchy trying to overtake for sure. The only thought I could really try and get it on someone was sending on the inside of Moss Corner, which is very sketchy to begin with. I just got stuck behind everyone that was slower and just had to wait for them to make mistakes.
Well, in the end, you did manage to get up to third place. You've extended your lead in the championship as well. It should be 10 points now, I think, over Joshua Hay. It might be more. How are you feeling about that going into into next week? Of course, still quite a long way to go.
Oh, man, it feels good. I didn't practice one bit for this race, really. So I thought this was going to be my drop race. So I'm thrilled for a P3. I think everything went as good as it was. There is no way I was going to be fighting for, P1 or P2. Those guys were just on another level today. I went one extra lap on the dries. I should have pitted before. I was hoping that wasn't going to, screw me over at the end, but yeah, I made it work. Just tried to find the grip that I could around the track. It was very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is there anyone you'd like to go shout out to before we let you go?
Well, you guys are the best in the business. OGRL, and like always, Ron Service, he gets my Porsche right for every race.
Congratulations, Bradley, on finishing third, and thanks for coming to chat to us as well.
Yeah, man. Hey, y'all take it easy.
Thank you very much. Bradley Lovings, third place tonight here this afternoon. I always do that from Mosport here in the OGRL Coffee Cup. Well, another entertaining round. I've got to say that the rain really did surprise me, and certainly spiced it up a bit as well there.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was very exciting. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to next week. I'm sure that's going to be just as impressive.
Yeah, we'll be staying in Canada, actually, for the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve of Montreal, of course, on the 15th of December. So make sure you join us, same time, same place for that. The week after, we'll be at Sebring before the Christmas break. So very much look forward to your company then. Big thanks to everyone who's tuned in here this afternoon. It's been great once again. Happy New Year, Louis, alongside James Parfitt again. And until next week, when we'll be visiting Montreal for round 17 of the OGRL Coffee Cup, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you.